Welcome back, everybody, to Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU-TV. Hi, everybody. I'm Tristan Harlan, alongside the man, the myth, the legend, the GOAT himself, the G-O-A-T, the Juice Box, Cooper Melder. Cooper, how you doing today, my friend?
You know, that was very generous of you. Thank you. I'm doing great after that. I know. I'm not TB12, but I'm doing good. So, you know, I think we know what time it is.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, we got a great show today. We got some stuff going on. We're going to talk a little bit about some baseball coming up later. We're going to talk about some men and women's basketball and a special event that we'll get into later. But before we get too carried away, it's time to send it to the other GOAT of the show, the one that keeps us with our head on a swivel, our news desk correspondent, Ella Jane Britt. Ella Jane, take it away.
Thanks, Tristan. My name is Ella Jane Britt, and welcome back to the Red Wolf Roundtable News Desk. This week in A-State athletics, the Arkansas State women's bowling team finished 7th at the Northeast Classic. Opening bracket play this past Sunday, Arkansas State battled in a 4-3 victory in the 7-game series. These Red Wolves took the first 2 games with a 266-155 and a 203-193 victory, but North Carolina A&T bounced back, taking it to 5 games. These Red Wolves continued to fight in bracket play and ended up meeting North Carolina A&T once again in the 7th place contest, where they then took them to 6 games, where the Red Wolves edged the Aggies by 24 points to clinch the 7th place title. This A-State women's bowling team is set to return to action January 27th through January 29th in the Prairie View Invitational in Arlington, Texas. Next in A-State athletics, many of the Arkansas State track and field athletes either entered or moved up in the program's indoor top 10 this past Saturday at the Vanderbilt Invitational. 8 of these 10 athletes had podium finishes across the 2 days and 4 first-place results. The Red Wolves tennis team dropped their doubleheader in the Arkansas State Pass this weekend with a 7-0 lead by the University of Arkansas Razorbacks, going home with a 4-0 victory in the second match. This women's team will begin their 5-game road swing on February 3rd at UT Arlington before visiting North Texas on February the 4th. The Arkansas State men's basketball team came up short in overtime to Marshall with a final score of 87-78. Avery Feltz ended the game with 11 points, and thanks to Caleb Fields, these Red Wolves ended the game with a double-double 18-point career high. The men's team returns to the hardwood this Thursday, where they will face Southern Miss on their home court. Tip-off sets for 7 p.m. You can watch the game live on ESPN Plus or listen to the game live on the EAB Red Wolf Sports Network. Thanks, Cooper and Tristan. This is all I have for you this week. Back to you guys.
We're going to go ahead and talk about some women's basketball. You know, Ella Jane, she did a great job talking about the men, which we'll get into after this. But what a chance it has been for the women. You know, last time they were out, they played Louisiana at a hard-fought contest, which saw them lose in overtime.
Yeah, and in overtime at the end of the game, questionable no call on the offensive rebound because it was a 1-point game. We went up for the layup, didn't get it, and we go up for the offensive rebound. We got fouled, but they never called the foul. They just swallowed their whistle and got out of the game. But, you know, it's nice to finally see them getting on track and the pace they need to be going. Yeah,
Cooper, and we'll get into more of the women's basketball later. But before we get too carried away, we got to talk about a special event that's going on tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. State of the Pack Live. You're going to see your Vice Chancellor for Intercollegiate Athletics, Jeff Purinton. He's going to host an event with the voice of the Red Bulls, Matt Stoltz. We're going to have Butch Jones on. We're going to have a lot of different people on, student athletes, and special guest, all-pro linebacker for the New Orleans Saints, my favorite team, everybody's favorite Arkansas State Red Wolf, Demario Davis, will be joining.
You know, if you want to get into that, join the live, and hey, you may be even able to ask the all-pro linebacker some question about his time here at Arkansas State or even down in NOLA and how things are doing there. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, Cooper, I mean, I'm sure that a lot of the fans that are watching this show are going to join that live and ask their hard-fought questions that they have for the football team, for the basketball team, for the baseball team, and all the teams in between. But, Cooper, before we get too carried away, let's go ahead and take a short break. When we come back, we can talk about Coach Rogers' women's basketball team. You guys are watching Red Wolf Roundtable on ASU-TV.
ASU-TV, shows like Red Wolf Roundtable, ASU-TV News, Westside Football, and more. Gain real-life experience while doing what you love. Get involved with ASU-TV today.
ASU-TV, covering all your favorite sports. From Red Wolf Roundtable to Westside Football and more, ASU-TV has you covered. Tune in now to ASU-TV for news and coverage on these sports and more.
Welcome back, guys, to Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU-TV. Now we're going to talk about some women's basketball.
Yes.
Cooper and I, sometimes we like to jump the gun and keep everybody on their toes. So, Cooper, last time out for the women's basketball team, they played a hard-fought game against the Louisiana Raging Cajuns. This game was a tremendous one for the Red Wolves, as we've seen Jade Upshaw, who last time we were here, you talked about wanting to be in the starting lineup, which we saw for the past two games. As you're seeing the stats on screen now, you know, the Raging Cajuns, they shot 37 from the field, had about 39 rebounds, 2 more than us. And the biggest thing here that I see on this stat line is the 3-point field goal percentage for both teams.
Yes.
We shot a 13%, they shot 8%, and we only lost by 1. But Cooper, you know, you were talking about a last-second foul that didn't get called. Dive more into that. What will really happen? Because I think I may have missed that.
So, you know, it's at the end of the men's game. We go back, and I'm in the office getting my footage done, and, you know, we get to pull up the game. And so last-second shot coming up, we go up, miss the shot, initial shot. We go up for the offensive rebound, and I'm pretty sure we're in the 1-and-1 bonus at the time. We go up and we get fouled. It was over the back. They don't call it. And the funny part about that is Coach Rogers got caught on camera. She said a little thing to the ref about the no call. I'm not going to repeat it because I want to keep the show going, but she was very vividly mad. And, you know, I feel her. You fought hard all game just to, you know, lose by 1, and the no call really hurt that team. But nonetheless, they finally won a game this week, and they should have won that game.
Yeah, Cooper, and the thing with this game is we talked a lot about Izzy Higginbottom last week. Yes. Excuse me, sorry. But the thing was with this game, she had the most points on the team with 12. Mm-hmm. And she didn't even start. So maybe we're starting to see a little bit of the old Izzy Higginbottom coming back to where she was before she hurt her foot. But or just hear me out, or she's kind of lighting the spark to say, hey guys, look, I'm coming off the bench injured, and I'm still dropping more points than you are. I mean, that's got a lot of fire in between some of the girls on that team. And the biggest thing that I want to talk about from last week is you brought up Jade Upshaw being in the starting lineup. She has been in the starting lineup 2 games after that show, one against South Alabama, which we won our first conference win for this season, and last week against the Louisiana Raging Cajuns. And we've seen against South Al, they won. Against La, they barely lost by a point in overtime. So maybe that was the deciding factor in the lineup. I mean, sure, Jade Upshaw's not dropping the points that she needs to be dropping, which I could talk about hours upon hours of why she needs to be doing that. But For someone who preached all season long that she deserved more minutes, and now that she's in the starting lineup, we're seeing Melody Kapinga, Anna Griffin, and those players get more points and almost being able to beat Lala. That's really, really tremendously good for this team.
Well, the biggest problem with this team right now is we needed more scorers, and having Izzy Higginbottom coming off the bench, finally off of her injury, it's helping that team out where you have that solid scorer, and then you put Jade into the starting lineup. You have someone that can start the game, that can score, not coming off the bench, like I was saying. Yeah, you want that sixth man to be able to come score a couple points, but with the team we have, the lack of scorers on the team, we need all the scorers we can in that starting lineup, because we can't afford to get down 10, 15 points. We have to be in the game from the get-go. We can't get these slow starts going. I mean, the men, we have three-point shooters where we can get, we can fall behind by 10. With the women's team, we have to get all of our scorers on the floor at all times.
Yeah, the thing is you look at it this way, Melody Kapinga, she had just about 10 rebounds. She may have had more, had less. I can't really remember the exact number off the top of my head. But when you're looking at it from a grand scheme of things, we've seen since conference play started how everybody's complaining that this team is too unexperienced, they're too young, they're not competing as a team. But we've seen it. I mean, they've gone to battle with maybe not the number one team in the conference, but they're still putting up that fight. We heard last week from Coach Rogers where she said her the coaches had stopped giving up. And, I mean, you're seeing the conference standings now. I mean, Louisiana, they're at 7 at 5-3, and the Arkansas State Red Wolves, they're at 13, who are 1-7.
Yes.
But like we heard last week from Coach Rogers, this team, she said, may have given up, but her and the coaching staff has not. And now we're seeing through the game of practice, which I mean, we've seen it firsthand how intense those practices can be. Now that we're seeing this and how great this team really is, maybe we're going to have a little bit of momentum coming up for this team, and we start to win a little bit more. Come in the conference play, you said it best yourself last year. It's anybody's ball game once it comes to tournament play.
And if you're looking at the standings, we're dead last, but we're 3 wins away from jumping up about 4 spots. If everybody else, it works our way, we're 3 wins away from just even going up a couple spots. 1-7, 3 wins, that puts us at 4-7. We're around that 9-10 spot if Georgia Southern, ULM, Marshall, they all lose. But even 2 wins, it puts us ahead of ULM, Georgia State, and we're not the bottom feeders like we're doing in the men's and women's. It's just, you got to find that spark. You have to have that leadership. We need someone on the team to become a leader. Same with the men's team. We saw it last game. Caleb Fields stepped up. He was that guy. He was that leader. We need Izzy or Jade Upshaw to get going, to be that leader for that team. It's a young team, so someone's going to have to step up and be like, guys, it's okay. Calm down. Let's play our brand of basketball.
Well, and so you brought up a good question, which is kind of going to wrap this thing up for us. This segment is who becomes that leader? If it's not Izzy, who?
Yes.
Is it Malia Wilkerson? Is it
It's a
Melody
young
Kapinga?
team. It's whoever will step up and fill that role and do their job.
Yeah, Cooper. I mean, next game they've got Southern Miss, and so that's gonna be the game that opens a lot of eyes. Last time they played that team, they got blown out. Same with the men, but Cooper, we're gonna take another short break. When we come back, we're gonna be talking about some men's basketball. You guys, you already know what you're watching. You're watching Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU-TV.
ASU-TV, shows like Red Wolf Roundtable, ASU-TV News, Westside Football, and more. Gain real-life experience while doing what you love. Get involved with ASU-TV today.
ASU-TV, covering all your favorite sports. From Red Wolf Roundtable to Westside football and more, ASU-TV has you covered. Tune in now to ASU-TV for news and coverage on these sports and more.
Welcome back to Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU-TV, guys. And now we're going to talk about the other side of the basketball team, the men's basketball team. Cooper, we've seen it against Marshall this last game.
What a game.
What a game for real. I mean, the stats can only tell you so much from that game. I mean, look at it this way. We were almost dead even with Marshall for field goals, Rebounds, we had more rebounds. Okay, let's just pause real quick. This three-point field goal thing, I want to talk about this.
They could not miss.
They could not miss. This man had a step back, turn around over to yonder, under the Chattahoochee, and just shot it from heaven itself, and he made it.
He did.
I mean, I don't know what Marshall's 7-second or less Dan Antonio offense they're running, but the three ball, that was their game. I mean, they told us pregame, some of the men's players like Parker St. Pierre, he told us, hey, this team's nothing but shooters. 53% from three-point land, Cooper.
And we were tied with them going into, we forced overtime. It was an insane game. You missed a great game if you didn't show out. There was an okay crowd. It was
the best crowd we've had all year.
Because the crowd got into it. The student section was filled up for a Saturday, and that place was rocking right before overtime. I was on the court. That's probably the most funnest basketball game I've been to in a while here at Arkansas State.
And not to mention the mayor of Bono, Avery Felts. He had 18 points.
And don't forget about Caleb Fields. He was doing it all, driving to the basket, 17 points for him. He was dishing it out, getting rebounds. Man, that one.
The one-handed bandit, because I mean, he's been dealing with some hand issues. And
he has a broken wrist right now.
Yeah, I mean, sure, he may not have been able to shoot the three like he used to prior to the injury, but he single-handedly tied the game. He drove in, one-handed layup with the hurt hand, and then they turned around and got the steal to force overtime.
I mean, my favorite play is Caleb Phillips. He's coming up court. He's just dribbling that ball. You see the screen coming, and you're thinking, we already know what play they're going to run. It's Caleb Fields to the basket. We just don't know if he's going to go to the left or right. And they did that about 5 times at the end of the game, and it worked every single time. It was just such a fun game to watch.
Yeah, and not to mention the steal by Louisville at the end of the game to
Clutch.
Stop Marshall to get that basket to tie the game. But one thing I want to talk about is next game against Southern Miss. It's questionable, but Terrence Ford Jr., he didn't play against Marshall. He was hurt.
He's bone bruise.
Yeah, he's been walking around with the boot. And, we heard from Coach Bellato in the press conference today that he's questionable day-to-day. And, look, I'm going to put it to you this way. I talk to Terrence at least once a day when I see him, and he's like, dude, unless they just completely stop me from playing, I'm going to play this next game.
Well, that's what Coach Bellato said in the presser. He said, well, I've been talking to Terrence, and he told me he's playing Thursday no matter what, but we have him as day-to-day. But you love to see that from your younger guy on the team. The fight to just want to be out there to play the game, want to get better, want to help his team get better, and want to help them get the W. You love to see that from Terrence, and he's going to be, I hope, just please stay here. Just don't listen to anybody else. Just stay here at Arkansas State, and you will do amazing things here.
Yeah, Cooper. I mean, may not be the same from a conference standing outlook for this team, but they've got a lot of upside in the future. I mean, you see it now. James Madison, 4th. I mean, there's a 3-way tie for 7th place. And you got Arkansas State 1-7. They only got to win a couple more games. They'll jump up just like the women. But Cooper. When we come back, we're going to be talking about some more basketball to kind of wrap it up. And then hole and below, the baseball schedule was released. We're finally going to talk about it, guys. You're watching Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU-TV.
ASU-TV, shows like Red Wolf Roundtable, ASU-TV News, Westside football, and more. Gain real-life experience while doing what you love. Get involved with ASU-TV today.
ASU-TV, covering all your favorite sports. From Red Wolf Roundtable to Westside football and more, ASU-TV has you covered. Tune in now to ASU-TV for news and coverage on these sports and more.
Welcome back to Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU-TV. And real quick, before we dive into the baseball schedule, let's take one quick look again at the conference standings for the men's basketball team. I mean, you're seeing it here. James Madison, they're at 7. App State, Coastal Carolina, they're all tied like we said before prior to the break. ODU, Texas State, South Alabama, Arkansas State. That little sliver right there is where I could see interchangeable teams as conference winds down and gets to the end.
Yeah, like you were saying earlier, a 3-game win streak can do so much for this team right now. Just any type of win streak, 2-game, 3-game, whatever. But when you're looking at this, you see the bottom, besides us, you have South Alabama, Texas State, Old Dominion. Those are 3 games we all have to win. We have to win those. I'm not sure if we got Coastal Carolina home this year, but if we have a home-away series with them, we have to at least split it. But those other 3 teams, ODU, Texas State, and South Alabama, those are 3 teams that are must-beat.
Oh, yeah. I mean, most definitely. This team is – I'm sorry. People are probably going to disagree with me all they want, but at this point, this team controls their destiny. Mm-hmm. They may not be able to win the whole conference outright in the regular season, but like Coop said – it takes just a 3-game win streak, and we move up significantly in the conference standings. You know, we may not pop up to that number 1 spot like I'm sure everybody and their mamas and their chickens and their goats and their lizards wants to, but it's the fact of the matter of this team, when healthy, when they want to play, we've seen it. We saw it against Marshall. They can win ball games, and it's just a fact. It's just a matter of time until we see it happen.
Yeah, it's just. If we get rolling at the right time, that's all we can ask for. If you get hot at the right time of the season, then you find yourself marching your way to March Madness, and that's the whole end goal.
Yeah, it's March Madness, which, you know, around that time, you already know you boys here at Red Wolf Roundtable are going to have a March Madness special, which I'm excited for. Last year it was a hit. This year it's even going to be a better hit.
For sure.
But Cooper, released recently that we haven't talked about yet was the baseball schedule. And as the king of rock and roll once said, I can't help but falling in love with this schedule. This schedule, man, look at all them home games.
Wow, I think, what was it, 35 home games?
I think that's what our very own Diamond Doll, Ella Jane Britt, told us prior to the show. But you're looking at the schedule. In February, we start off against UAPB, then we play Ole Miss, which, for those that know, Ole Miss actually canceled the game against us last year, and it didn't make me mad because it gave me, you know, that last game off, and I got to move back home from college. But look at it this way. From February 24th to about March 14th, all those games are at home. Then if you're looking at the schedule saying, man, guys, what game should I most definitely look out for? I'll tell you 2 games you need to watch out for. March 22nd at Memphis, and then May 2nd versus Memphis. You know, we talk about all the time about Memphis versus Arkansas State, but really, outside of conference, you're not going to beat at Arkansas. You're not going to beat an Ole Miss. You're probably not even going to beat a James Madison, Mississippi Valley State, or Troy, or Murray State for that matter. Realistically speaking, the Memphis game is 2 games that we could win that aren't conference that will be significant wins.
And we're looking at it. We need a rivalry at this school. Might as well. We played Memphis. We had the paint bucket rivalry a little bit. Let's just bring Memphis over to rivalry in baseball. We don't really have that basketball rivalry. We don't have really a baseball rivalry. So let's make just Arkansas State, Memphis. We're an hour apart from each other, and it's always a good game. I mean, it was a great game last year. We fell short to them, but
God, that game took forever.
It did. I remember that one. But like you're saying, Memphis, those are 2 games that we could win. And wow, I just realized we go to at Mississippi State. We got a really tough non-conference.
Yeah, I mean, non-conference, I mean.
Illinois State's really tough too.
Tommy Raffo this is going to be the year that he proves himself, because last year he didn't do as well, and then the baseball expansion came out. Then Tom Bowen stepped down, Jeff Purinton took his place, and now nobody talk about it no more. Well, if he wins a lot of games this year, as you're seeing on the screen now, maybe that renovation speeds up and it gets done before we graduate.
Well, during the off season, he really went all in on this team. Right now, it's all or nothing. He's trying to at least finish top 5 in the conference instead of the bottom 5, because he didn't bring in many freshmen. He brought in a bunch of JUCO players, guys with a bunch of experience. And maybe, just maybe, we can finally get things going, because last year I was talking with old Peyton Burr. He was telling me how the biggest thing that's going to help us this year is our pitching. We have a bunch of pitchers being able to pitch in the mid-90s instead of the high 80s. So hopefully that can lead over. We can get some runs and some strikeouts.
Yeah, Cooper, I mean, this team went 11-38 last season, so hopefully they can do better on this schedule. Now, before we get too carried away and our producer, Easton John, comes in here and whacks us with a bucket, we're going to send it to our very own Diamond Doll, Ella Jane Britt. Ella Jane, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Tristan. But don't forget, the men's basketball team returns to the hardwood this Thursday, where they will face Southern Miss on their home court. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m., and you can watch this game live on ESPN Plus or listen to the game live on the EAB Red Wolves Sports Network. Tristan and Cooper, y'all have a great night.
Thank you, Ella Jane. But Cooper, it's been a great time coming back to the Red Wolf Roundtable desk and talking about baseball, talking about basketball. And Cooper, how great is it that baseball season is just around the corner?
Well, I can see it now. You're walking into the ballpark, you have the organist playing over there, you got the smell of hot dogs, Cracker Jacks coming out. You know, it's always a special time of year, baseball season. It's a slower game, it's hard to get into, but it's very fun.
Well, guys, thank you for watching this episode of Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU-TV. We will see you next week right here on ASU-TV.